Obama's end run on the climate treaty. What we predicted in Power Grab, the book Eileen and I wrote, is coming true, which is that having failed to get cap and trade through Congress, and now implementing it by executive action and regulation by the EPA, Obama now wants to take the whole issue of climate change and environmental regulation away from Congress and to vest it entirely in the executive branch by concluding a treaty on climate change. But because it's not going to be a treaty that obliges the United States to do stuff, but rather is a series of things the United States will be urged to do, will urge the world to do, it will not have to be ratified by the Senate. And it'll be implemented as an executive agreement by the president, just like he wants to do on the Iran deal. And it will commit the United States to a whole series of steps on climate change. And in the meantime, China will get off scot-free. The best we've been able to do is to get them to agree to begin addressing this issue in 2025. That's a great date. That's when Iran gets the bomb and China begins to address climate change. But the point is that Obama wants completely to bypass Congress. And because the treaty-making power is superior to any legislation passed by Congress, to try to lift it to the level of an international commitment. Essentially, this is all part of an effort by the United Nations to create a revenue stream of money that goes to third world countries, mainly dictators, in exchange for their support in the UN on climate change. He doesn't want to have to tax American taxpayers and vote through Congress for foreign aid to an African despot. Instead, what he wants to do is for a UN treaty to dedicate revenue sources like royalties from offshore oil or aircraft that lands in the European Union, where the money from taxes on those will go to the UN, not to the US and the EU, and from there will go directly into the pockets of the third world dictators. It's essentially bypassing Congress and bypassing the American taxpayer, both on environmental regulations and on the flow of foreign aid. The justification for the foreign aid is so these countries can't develop the way the first world did with carbon and coal because we've already screwed up the environment, so they have to avoid that, so it's going to cost them more money, and this is to compensate them for that. In fact, it's just to pad the bank accounts of the dictators in return for their votes in the UN. Thanks for watching.